If you're a millennial, chances are these dreamboats will always hold a special place in your heart. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 sexiest men of the 1990s. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, a male icon only qualifies if they've reached their peak status as a sex symbol, celebrity hunk, or all-around cutie pie during the specified decade. Beyond that, any male celebrity who has made us sweat, blush, or sigh has been considered. This is a part of a series dedicated to finding the hottest men of each decade.
You don't have to come as my boyfriend or anything like that. Though I'd like you to.
Number 10. Ethan Hawke.
I elected to grow up.
Ethan Hawke has gone through several stages of sexy, but none quite as notable as 90s Hawke. Always gorgeous in an everyman sort of way, his relentless pursuit of the leading lady in films like Great Expectations is unapologetic, yet charmingly vulnerable, though you probably first fell for him as the coffeehouse guitarist in Reality Bites, which he followed up with a romantic cynic in Before Sunrise.
Would you be in Paris by now if you hadn't gotten off the train with me?
All this is topped off with a set of icy blue eyes that can stare right into your soul if you're not careful. He's the type of guy that would help a girl out at the grocery store and visit the next week to ask for her number.
Listen, you know all this bullshit we're talking about not seeing each other again? I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either.
You don't either?
I was waiting for you to say it.
Why didn't you say something?
Number 9. Pierce Brosnan.
Very good, Mr. Bond. You've been to Russia?
Not recently. I used to drop in occasionally.
It's no easy feat to be considered one of the sexiest James Bonds, given the impressive competition in this category. 007 is the pinnacle of style and class, and Brosnan embodied this perfectly. There's also something to be said about his tantalizing accent, which can make you weak at the knees if not prepared ahead of time.
Why can't you just be a good boy and die?
You first.
While Bond makes the argument he's one of the sexiest celebrities of the 90s, films like Dante's Peak and even Mrs. Doubtfire a few years earlier corroborate this claim. It may not have been until the 2000s that he won Sexiest Man Alive, but this was a result of one heck of a resume in the 10 years prior.
James, stop this. Stop it. I know what you're doing.
Really? What's that, dear?
You are just trying to show off the size of your
Engine?
ego.
Number 8. Antonio Banderas.
Climbing in and out of carriages?
No, my dear. But increasing one's holdings so as to provide lavish comfort for young ladies.
Antonio Banderas could read us Apple Media Services Terms and Conditions Agreement, and we'd be unable to avoid blushing uncontrollably. Luckily, he goes beyond this with his portrayals of the revenge-seeking mariachi in Desperado and the masked Mexican swashbuckler Zorro.
Do you surrender?
Never. But I may scream.
I understand. Sometimes I have that effect.
Both of these helped to pave the way for his erotic Cuban businessman in Original Sin in the early 2000s, which is a film that contains some of the steamiest love scenes to grace the silver screen in recent memory. While his dark brown eyes are unmistakably inviting, he also has an aura of mystery surrounding him, and even manages to make a cat sound sexy.
Pray for mercy from Puss. It would.
Number 7. Richard Gere.
So where are we going?
It's a surprise.
1993's Sexiest Man Alive is sophisticated and witty, without seeming too aloof in the process. He can rock a denim jacket one moment and a $2,000 tuxedo the next. This level of class is perhaps best exemplified in Pretty Woman, but it's his willingness to age gracefully and take on romantic leading man roles that make him all the more appealing.
I dare not kiss so lovely a lady. I only have one heart to lose.
The man can not only act, but he can perform, as he demonstrated in the 2000s with the Broadway musical adaptation of Chicago. He's the perfect counterpoint to anyone who may argue that successful sex symbols lack real talent, and he oozes charisma in nearly every second on screen.
Hostility is a very important part of your foreplay, isn't it?
Well, it takes 3 people to make our marriage work. Him, me, and our therapist.
Number 6. Val Kilmer.
Guess I'm early. I have an appointment. I'm Bruce Wayne.
Look, not everyone wants to spend his or her entire career as a sex symbol. Some may choose to make us drool for a decade or two and then focus on other things after that. Sure, the man's got some city miles on him these days, but Kilmer had the best jawline in Hollywood in the late 80s and 90s.
You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right.
Nice.
It's not easy to work opposite Tom Cruise in his prime, but Val managed to do just that and produced a slew of steamy and notable roles in the years following, such as Jim Morrison in The Doors, Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, and more.
Wacko. Is that a technical term?
Number 5. Mark Wahlberg.
I guess the only thing I can say is I'll promise to keep rocking and rolling and making better films.
For anyone who's unaware, we're about to drop some very sensational intel. Marky Mark made quite a name for himself in the Calvin Klein industry before his acting career. His musical career is also delightfully cheesy, providing a down-to-earth impression of the celebrity that isn't typically associated with your run-of-the-mill underwear model. His breakout role as an aspiring porn star with a large personality in Boogie Nights established Wahlberg as a new kind of triple threat. And the Massachusetts native is still making ladies swoon today.
Because nobody's asking.
Number 4. Will Smith.
I love it. All right, now take it off.
The word charisma has been thrown around a couple times on this list, and that's because these fellas all appear to have great personalities to back up their looks. The Fresh Prince, however, has charisma levels that are off the charts.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
There's a reason why every girl in Bel-Air was obsessing over him. Crossing from TV to film is never easy, and successful actors oftentimes continue a TV typecasting. Smith's humorous energy remained, but the added bad boy mentality and some extra time at the gym made him even more desirable. Will Smith is one celebrity we wouldn't mind getting jiggy with.
Welcome to Earth.
Number 3. Keanu Reeves.
You have a hair trigger aimed at your head, what do?
Take your pick, as there are multiple irresistible versions of Keanu that were popularized in the 90s. After he grew out of the lovable slacker Ted, we were introduced to the fit action hero of movies like Point Break and Speed. These sexy men of the law helped him branch out, but he ended the decade with a more restrained but equally alluring Neo.
This isn't real.
And while he certainly got flow like a few others, Keanu knew how to rock the shirtless look as well. We have our strong suspicions that he's unlocked the fountain of youth, as 1994's retroactively awarded Sexiest Man Alive remains the perfect candidate to embark on an excellent adventure with even today.
Relationships that start under intense circumstances, they never last.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've done extensive studying on this.
Number 2. Johnny Depp.
Do you think this wise boy? Crossing blades with a pirate?
Before his well-established reputation as Captain Jack Sparrow, which wasn't too bad on the eyes we might add, Johnny Depp was the bad boy every girl dreamt of. With long flowing hair, hypnotically dark eyes, and an ability to make a Tim Burton movie look sexy as hell, there were few others in the 90s that were in as high demand as Depp.
Would you? Thank you.
He could typically be found with a leather jacket, cigarette, and that mysterious look just past the horizon that made him an enigma that was hard to resist. He could be sexy, quirky, or both, whatever we needed him to be, and that's exactly why we love him. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Take advantage while you hear me out to try, but I can't see you every night. Looking at the crowd and I see your body sway. Come on. Wishing I could thank you in a different way. Come on.
What's her problem?
Looks like somebody's in need of some therapy.
Number 1. Leonardo DiCaprio.
I saw that in a Nickelodeon once and I always wanted to do it.
It's an easy decision to place Leo at the top of our list. The tricky part was deciding what decade he peaked in. Going through a Playboy renaissance in the 21st century, DiCaprio made a case for the pinnacle of class. But all this pales in comparison to innocent and young Leo throughout the 90s.
I have nights cloaked to hide me from their eyes. But thou love me, let them find me here.
Whether it's in Romeo and Juliet or Titanic, he has been head over heels in love on multiple occasions, and his sweet voice, dreamy eyes, and perpetual eagerness are hard to ignore. It can't be denied. Ever since he was asked to draw Rose like one of his French girls, he's been irrevocably irresistible.
Over on the bed, the couch.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.